Hey, welcome to Virtually Playable. I'm Sean, your host, and this is the podcast and community where we build and share and we test virtual reality games. So I'm still getting used to doing this content, but I hope over time I get better. Here we go. So as you can see, I've laid out my studio a bit differently this time and set up my microphone a little bit differently. I've also got the website online, so go to virtuallyhq.com. That is virtuallyhq.com, and check out the website. And I'll start to fill that up with episodes as I make them. So what I'm going to do today with this podcast is try a new format, and that is where I make one fairly long podcast, and then I may cut it up depending on the topics that I talk about. And I'm going to try to do this every day, basically. So let's get straight into it. First of all, I want to make a call out to all virtual reality creatives that are out there. Whether you're building 360 video, fully interactive games, or games for Quest or AR on the iOS, whatever you're doing in this space, in spatial computing and cross X reality, just get in touch. I want to know what you're building. I want to share it and get to know you. This podcast it's not so much about how to do VR development. It's much more about who you are and what you're making and why you're making it. So whether your game or your experience is an alpha, a beta, a demo, early access, or even if it's just barely playable, or if you're on your way there, just get in touch, because there are a few podcasts out there that are all about playing games, and I watch them, like F Reality. Shout out to F Reality, watch them every week. And there's Anthony from VR 365. And a few others. There's also a podcast called the Oculus Quest Cast, and Kaz and Cherry. So, like, I watch all of them, but doesn't seem to be any that are focused on development. So, I'm just really happy to help fill that and get to know you and put the word out there for what you're building. And my idea is if you get in touch, if you share what you're building and come on the show even, I'll take calls and we'll do interviews. My plan is to see this wall behind me. Any dev that decides to come on the show and do an interview, I'll do this and you can go on the wall. And then what I'll do is I'll regularly, like on a weekly basis, get in touch with you and see how you're going, and maybe try to keep you motivated and also help keep your potential audience, so all the players out there, up to date on what you're doing. And speaking of players, hey, Reddit, everyone on Reddit. Pretty much every day I see a couple of posts about people want to test your games, and they don't really know where to go. Well, hey guys and girls, drop on by. We've got a Discord channel. We're sitting at a whopping 2 members right now, so plus me, so that's 3. Drop into Discord and say hi. Devs can talk about what you're building, and players can give it a go if you put up a build. And that's the direction that we'll be going with this show. It's called Virtually Playable. So it's all about trying to get you to the point where you can share what you're building, and start to get feedback. And over time, I'd love to build some sort of program around like a feedback process, so that you get what you need and the players are getting some interesting and fun experiences. So yeah, in the coming week, I'll be reaching out to a lot of devs. So if you're watching, I want to talk to you. All right, so this episode is running much shorter because I think I'm speaking way too fast. I'll just cool it down a bit. It's hard, like podcasting's not easy. I'm not much of a talker naturally, so I think for the last 5 minutes, I was doing the university student doing a presentation because this time I've got my piece of paper, but actually through uni, all the presentations I didn't use any notes because I took so much care in designing the presentation, right? That by the time I had to talk, I knew that presentation inside out. Anyway, that's me, and I'm just learning how to do a podcast, so bear with me. Without a doubt, though, have no doubt, I really, really do passionately believe in VR, and I want to help connect the devs with the players and get some new and interesting content being played, and really push and see what's possible in VR, basically. On a side note that I wasn't planning to talk about it, but for everyone out there, I have a question. Do people around you, like your family and friends, do they go, "What's this VR thing?" Or "Tell me about it." Right. So, like, I'm 32 and I've been following VR for 2 years now, very closely, and I still can't explain virtual reality. I'm working on it. I haven't had that many opportunities, but the problem is that I always go for the 20-year vision, which is like everyone's using. So I usually say something like, in 20 years, we're going to have special glasses on our face, and it will have like a computer screen in there. And when you look around, the world will have, like, it'll look a bit different, like it would have, like, it would tell you where to go if you want to travel somewhere. You can see it on like a map in front of you. You can see the ground lit up where you need to go. A typical example that people give is if you're walking down the street and you see someone over their head is their name and the last contact you had with them. I don't like that example much. My favorite concept that I think of is, you could be walking down the street and you have these glasses on, and because the glasses can see around you, they know there's a building over there and there's a footpath here, and there's some, like, a tree over there. So what the game does is, what you see is that suddenly the building becomes a castle, and the footpath becomes a river, and the tree, there's monsters popping out of the tree, and you need to move your arms and sort of do some sort of attack to hit the monsters. Or you could just be walking to the train station, and instead of playing a game on your phone, you actually can play Candy Crush with your hands right in front of you, like some sort of puzzle, right? So I don't usually give that example. I just usually stumble around a bit. So if you've figured out the best way to explain virtual reality to someone who only just started using social media, then let me know, because I need some help. All right. I'm going to talk about volunteering. So last year I went to a lot of, like, meetups and networking events, and I also did some volunteering, and one of those was the Melbourne Esports Open. So down in Melbourne last year, we, for the first time, had an esports festival, and it was a 2-day event at our biggest tennis court, sport complex. And this is a scarf that I picked up. That's the logo. Nice scarf. I don't really have any scarves, but I thought this one was really nice. And it's a 2-day event that has the Overwatch Oceanic Finals and League of Legends Finals. So they're the 2 big games, and I also happen to play those, so I was pretty interested in it. And I volunteered for, I think, like 4 days, 2 of the event days and 2 of the setup days, I think. And it was awesome. It was hard sometimes, like screwing together 30 tables is not fun, or like standing in one place for 2 hours is not fun. But overall, going to the Melbourne Esports Open was pretty cool, and I did it because what I see esports as, like, they'll continue to grow, but because I was already following virtual reality by that point, I was looking around at all these people playing flat screen games, and especially when the League of Legends finals were on the stage, and I was looking at those 10 players there sitting in front of their computers on a huge stage, and they're not moving. They're just moving their fingers. Well, as a virtual reality diehard, I can pretty much imagine that someday we'll be watching people play virtual reality on stage. And so I figured I'd go to the esports event and see what it's like, and meet some people and get to know how to run an event and all the behind the scenes things. There was like so many volunteers, like 50 volunteers or something like that. And shout out to people who help organize volunteers, because it's not easy. They get some people like me who are so, like, quite serious about it. They also get some younger people who are just there for the fun. They think it's a gaming thing. I can hang out and do whatever I want. It's not really like that. You got to do the work. So shout out to the people who organize events. At the Melbourne Esports Open, that's Toby, who is awesome, and Jenny, also awesome. Early this year, I also volunteered at the Global Game Jam in Melbourne, and this is the cup that I got from volunteering. You get some swag when you volunteer, usually, I think. That is pretty cool. I'll bring it a little closer and you can have a look. There we go. Global Game Jam. If you know who illustrated this, let me know. And the Global Game Jam was pretty cool. A little less, from what I heard, it was a little less community spirited. Everyone was really heads down making their game, which is cool. It's cool. So yeah, if you know of events coming up in your area, or even if you have to travel, it's worth it. Volunteering is really, really cool. You get to see behind the scenes and see how things are done. You get to meet some pretty cool people. If you're lucky, you get some goodies out of it. So do it. It's awesome. All right, so that's VR done, and that's the volunteering bit done. So I just wanted to finish up with a personal thought of the day. The Melbourne has a gaming festival called PAX. It's pretty famous, actually, but Melbourne has one, the PAX Australia. And last year I went as an attendee, and I picked up this badge here. Which is a little rainbow raining cloud, and I think it's cute. So, as a way of getting to know me, I may as well just say, I am I am gay. I have a male partner, and I am also male. And day to day, I don't push that on anyone. Like, I don't generally tell anyone. I don't wear rainbows. We don't do stuff. But as part of this podcast process and getting out there and trying to create more positive energy around me, because like internally, my whole life I am positive, but the problem is I don't talk much. I do have great ideas. I think the problem is I don't do them. So this podcast and everything that I'm doing at the moment is all a way of trying to show the positivity. So why am I wearing the rainbow? It's not for me, and it's not to tell you that I'm gay. Not at all. This is to support the other gay people out there who may not feel accepted or safe. And how do I do that? Because when I wear this rainbow, other people may see it, and seeing it makes it like more like, it's hard to explain actually. If there's a gay kid out there and their auntie or their teacher or their dad or brother going about their day-to-day life and they see me walking down the street with a rainbow on my chest, and I look like a fairly normal person, but I am gay, and it's totally normal. It's totally fine. And I just thought that if I could help sway those random people out there who see it to be more supportive of the gay people in their life, then that's something I can and probably should do. And so that's why I'll be wearing this in future. It's not about me. All right, so to recap, I've set up my new studio here. The website is online, and I'm trying this new format of a daily video. I need to cool it down a bit. Okay, so yeah, I'm calling out to all creatives in the virtual reality space. Get in touch. I want to know who you are, what you're making, and why you're making it. Whether it's an alpha or barely playable build, or you're almost ready to launch, just get in touch. We want to know about it. And Reddit, all the players on Reddit, if you're looking for the devs out there, you want to try something new, you want to see what's upcoming, join the Discord and say hi. You could be you watching. You could be member number 4, because we're sitting at 3 right now. Volunteering is awesome. Do it. And you can show support with it for everyone in your life. Just be positive around you. Wear rainbows if you have to. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.